All right, man. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Still ain't get his bread, but the Baltimore Ravens have a history of, you know, of moving that way. But thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Let's start on Russell Wilson. Check out the NFL playlist for more videos like this. All right. So apparently, some things started to leak out about Russell Wilson, excuse me, and what started the turmoil that end up being his exit out of Seattle, right? And apparently a number of things had happened, right? One of the things was the GM was scouting other quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in 2017 and 18, and reportedly would have took Patrick Mahomes had he failed to them late in the first round. He would have took them, and that pissed off Russell Wilson as well too. Okay, it says Russell Wilson can't pissed over Seahawks interest in Mahomes and Josh Allen. And it says that prior to getting traded to the Denver Broncos during the offseason, the quarterback Russell Wilson reportedly took issue with some decisions made by Seattle Seahawks front office. According to ESPN's Brady Henderson, Wilson was particularly dismayed by the fact that the Seahawks checked in on quarterbacks ahead of the 2017-2018 drafts. Seahawks general manager John Snyder attended now Kansas City Chiefs superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes pro day in 2017. It reportedly would have taken him if he had fallen to the latter stages of the first round. The next year, Snyder was present for now Buffalo Bills Buffalo Bills superstar signal caller Josh Allen's pro day in Wyoming. Per Henderson, a front office source said that Wilson was effing pissed that Snyder went out his way to scout potential franchise quarterbacks while he was still in the fold and playing at a high level. Snyder has reportedly reasoned that doing due diligence on top quarterbacks in the draft was a wise move, knowing that the Green Bay Packers did the same thing during his time with the organization and ended up having Aaron Rodgers fall to them in 2005, despite already having a Hall of Famer Brett Favre on the roster. Rodgers sat behind Favre for the first 3 years of his career before taking over, becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history in his own right. Wilson is likely a first ballot Hall of Famer thanks to his 9 Pro Bowl selections, 1 Super Bowl ring, a career record 104, 53, and 1 as a starter. Despite being a third-round pick in 2012, Wilson won the starting job out the gate and led the Seahawks to the greatest run of success in franchise history. With Wilson at the helm, Seattle reached the playoffs 8 and 10 seasons and made it to the Super Bowl twice. It was not for a miraculous goal line interception by New England Patriots cornerback Malcolm Butler. Wilson and the Seahawks would have had back-to-back Super Bowls 13 for 2014. While Wilson has somewhat shockingly never received a single vote for MVP, he has put up some huge numbers during his career, completing 65% of his passes, 37,059 yards, 292 touchdowns, only 87 interceptions, while also rushing for 4,689 yards and 23 scores. The Seahawks may have already got the very best out of Wilson, but at 33 years old of age, he may have plenty left in the tank. So injury caused him to miss the first 3 games of his career last season, but he seems refreshed and rejuvenated after joining the Broncos team with a huge aspiration despite missing the playoffs in each of the past 6 seasons. So, just let you know, man, like everybody got an ego. All these dudes got egos. These women even got bigger egos than these dudes. They even got bigger egos than these dudes. So it's crazy. The dude that's sitting there letting his wife go to work and take care of him, he got an ego. The dude that quote unquote claimed that he alpha, he got an ego. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got an ego today. Women seem to have bigger egos than the dudes do. And when you start, scouting quarterbacks and start taking them in the first round, not just second or third round, but in the first round, then, obviously people going to feel some type of way. And like they about to move on from you. Don't nobody want their job security to be questioned. You know, if you want to end, if you want to, you want to end it on your terms. You want to retire, walk away, or ask for a trade. And eventually, Russell Wilson never got, part of the reason he never really got over this. Aaron Rodgers is mad about the same thing. Difference is Seattle granted Wilson his pardon papers, and Green Bay, they did take a quarterback, but obviously we seen some things from him. He wasn't ready. So, they still control, where Aaron Rodgers play at. Aaron Rodgers can't lead. It ain't like Aaron Rodgers can't just, couldn't just, play the contract out and walk away. They gonna franchise tag you in that 40-something years of age. It didn't it made zero sense just to walk away. But I mean, it is what it is. But this wasn't the only report here. Apparently, he blamed Pete Carroll for blowing his opportunity at the MVP the year Lamar ended up winning it. Says that report Russell Wilson blamed Pete Carroll for holding him back in 2019 NFL MVP race. Okay. He said, quote, leading up to the October 19th game at the Atlanta Falcons, Wilson fast start had him one of the prime early season contenders for MVP, an award he badly wanted to win. With the Baltimore Ravens and eventual winner Lamar Jackson nearby, this was Wilson's chance to pull ahead. He threw 2 touchdowns as the Seahawks jumped out to a 24-0 halftime lead, but attempted only 5 passes in the second half. Quote, afterward, according to a source who spoke with the quarterback, Wilson was livid at how head coach Pete Carroll had taken his foot off the gas, believing it had cost him a chance to hold the MVP race. Right? There might have been an underlying issue behind Wilson's quest for MVP. Henderson reported that the Seahawks general manager John Snyder scouted Patrick Mahomes. We talked about that ahead of 2017 NFL draft, and Josh Allen 2018. Per Henderson, people around Wilson were effing pissed the franchise would consider bringing a potential successor. So, I mean, there you go. All this kind of lines up in a perfect timeline, in perfect sequence. It's lining up perfectly. You feel a certain type of way. You can't get mad at him. You can't get mad at him. Can't get mad at him. You can't get mad at him. So, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. And some people gonna feel. At the end of the day, when you feel that you're doing your craft and you doing your job, you doing it at a high level. I mean, and then too, Pete Carroll and John Snyder, they track record of life after the Legion of Boom. It ain't been too great. Let's be real. It ain't been too great. They draft picks ain't been hitting like they used to hit, like the Richard Sherman picks and the Earl Thomas pick and all that picks and all that type of stuff. They ain't been hitting like that. They ain't been hitting like that. I'm sorry to say that. So when you feel like you doing your job, and just imagine what he's saying to himself about, the assets that they bringing in, and they not doing their job retooling that defense. I only can imagine. So, but these dudes got fragile egos, and I ain't mad. When you feel like you doing your job, you know what I'm saying? You doing it at a high level, then you offended. You offended. So, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson, apparently his deadline, I believe, is pretty much come and gone. Or it's coming. So, and apparently, a deal is not imminent for him. Heading into this self-imposed week 1 deadline. All right. And remember how Julio Jones, Arthur Blank promised him, a contract, and we didn't know if Julio was gonna play going into that week one. And Arthur Blank made good. They was playing Minnesota. He made good on it, and so he made good on it, and Julio took the field. But Lamar won a fully guaranteed contract, but the way he played the game, and physically, he ain't holding up. And physically, what's gonna change? They're not changing the offense around him. It don't seem like he put no bulk on his body neither. So I mean, they did the same thing to Joe Flacco. This ain't a white or black thing. This just how they operate. Joe Flacco should have been in the Super Bowl had even before they went to it. He should have been in the Super Bowl. He should have been in the Super Bowl when they had when Lee Evans dropped that pass in the AFC Championship game. People forget that. They should have been in the Super Bowl then. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. And Joe Flacco still had to come back and prove it. He still had to come back and prove it. And guess what? Joe Flacco turned around and burned the Ravens. He turned around and burned the Ravens. And guess what? He won the Super Bowl, went on a hell of a run, and burnt that. And they had to pony down. They had to pony up. They had to pony up. So I mean, is that going to be the same thing as far as Lamar Jackson? Is he going to go on that type of run? Now, obviously, Ray Lewis announcement that this was his last ride. He was going to retire. Obviously, that also helped, motivate them. So, I mean, we going to see. But I'm pulling for Lamar, but he got to learn to play from the pocket, dude. He go ask Randall Cunningham, dealt with all them injuries early in his career. Had Randall mastered the pocket early on, Randall Cunningham would have been a lot better player. Straight up and down, he would have been a lot better player. And that's just the fact of the matter. But hey, that is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the NFL Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the NFL playlist for more videos like this. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Hit my link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I'm on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support everybody showing me. Let me know what you think in the comment section one time for the one time. Good Fella TV. Peace.